Popcorn Rice After Discussion.
Want to know some more fun facts?
Isn't it awesome to see some of your favorite content creators and favorite people, honestly, that you follow here on this app, be a part of this amazing community called the Nerd Initiative?
Welcome. It is April the 8th, 2023, and we're going to be talking about some nerd news tonight. I am Tony Abdullah, one of the founders of Nerd Initiative, and your host. Michael will be joining us shortly, but we're going to be talking about a couple things tonight. First of all, we're going to talk about some of the new nerd news that happened this week, including some Star Wars Star Wars news, as well as just talking about the new Super Mario Brothers movie. And then we're going to go ahead and touch in on some of the stuff that happened with C2E2 and Nerd Initiative this week. So welcome. We're glad to have you. And let me go ahead and get ready to pull up some of this stuff. I hope everybody is doing well this evening. And let's go ahead and touch on some of the nerd news. There we go. Okay. So first of all, Star Wars Celebration is happening this week. It had already started. This is taking place in London, and it has actually been, fantastic. Just seeing some of the stuff, that's been coming out of it. One of the special things was actually, the announcement that, returning on April the 28th, Return of the Jedi is coming back to the theaters. This is the 40th anniversary. Let that set in. This is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. We have had a long time with Star Wars, and of course, that poster looks beautiful. It's definitely super exciting for those who weren't able to enjoy seeing this in the big screen when it first came out. Obviously, I imagine this is going to be, remastered or at least digitally better. I just realized that means that we're talking about the Lucas edit. Okay. Anyway, it should be interesting. But on top of that, we're also going to be having a number of things that were announced. First of all, there was the announcement of the Ahsoka show with an actual trailer, and we did get to see our first view of General Thrawn, which is going to be again played by Lars Mikkelsen. He's returning to the role, which is super exciting. I think a lot of people were actually superimposing his face on the back of Thrawn's head. There had been a discussion, I think, a while back about Robert Downey Jr. had possibly been in the running for it. It's nice to see that they're bringing back some of the characters for this series. Also, I understand David Tennant is coming back to play the robot, as well as you were going to see a lot more stuff, characters from Rebels. Mind you, that works really well with another character that we have recently seen in Mandalorian, which is just super fun, super fun. I love Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. I think she's done a really good job. And if this goes in the vein of the movies that or the shows that we've seen already on Disney Plus, it's going to definitely be in good company, and looking forward to it. Along with that, we got to see a little bit of the timeline for the Star Wars sagas, or however you want to say it. They included some things. They showed High Republic, the Fall of the Jedi, the Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, the New Republic, as well as the Rise of the First Order. And then after a while, they added to it the Old Republic, as well as the Return of the Jedi Order. And what's really exciting about that is we were able to get a sneak peek at who is going to be reviving the Jedi. And I think I did it right. Yes, there we go. Daisy Ridley is coming back as Rey Skywalker. And I believe that and a lot of people, there's people with different opinions with the sequel saga. We can understand this with Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy and them working on this specifically. I have a lot of positive impressions when it comes to what the next 3 movies are going to be like, because we are getting 3 movies, and we're gonna see Rey bring in the new Order of the Jedi in that story, which should be definitely exciting. Now, there are some people that want Kylo Ren or Ben Solo to come back, and I think there's already an online petition to do so. But regardless, we're gonna let them tell the story, and in about 15, 20 years, we'll love it. So let's see here. I'm gonna pull up yours, JJ, real quick. So happy about this. A scared toxic fan bro scared her. Yeah, well, they did. That's the thing. So if we remember correctly, Daisy Ridley went off of social media for a good long time and only has recently returned. And so there is potential for the toxic fandom to still approach and try to do something in this realm, and we should definitely be cautious of that. I think it's important that we really try to be as positive as possible. The stories may not hit for everyone, and no story does. I think this is what we're also hitting with the Marvel universe. It doesn't have to be something that everyone loves. It just has to be something that's earnest to the story. And honestly, I've always thought of Star Wars as it hits a specific generation. You go back and you look at the original trilogy, that was definitely for that generation, and it's still loved by everyone. People who come into the fandom end up loving it. Then you also have people that are, really big fans of the prequel trilogies. Some people were very critical about it. Of course, people were critical about characters um, like Jar Jar Binks and things like that. And then from there, with the sequel trilogy, there are kids who love those trilogies. In fact, my son loves all of Star Wars, but is also very fond of the sequel trilogy. So yes, it's very important. And of course, JJ, like you said, people do need to get over it, but at the same time, it's okay to have legitimate concerns about a fandom, about content. You don't have to like everything. I'm a Marvel fan. I don't have to like everything that comes out with Marvel. It's okay to have an opinion. And we should allow that without it being, toxic or misogynist or anything like that. Also with news, we had the Mario Brothers movie. Wait, this is the wrong. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The Mario Brothers movie was released this week, and man, it was phenomenal. It's kind of weird. I'm going to be talking about this all by myself here for a second, but honestly, there are some similarities to this movie from the previous movie, the one that we shall not, talk about any more than that quick thing there. The heroes are not that great in the real world. They get transported to the new world, and they're dealing with all of the stuff that's going on. But honestly, this film was very unique. I do understand some people's concerns about Seth Rogen not even trying with Donkey Kong, but overall, it was a very fast-paced story. It did what it needed to do, and people are complaining about this film, but I'll be very honest with you. It has a lot of similarities to the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. It took a very simple plot. You had different locations, different Easter eggs regarding the whole I want to say mythos. It's the Mario Brothers franchise. It definitely led into the possibility of something more in the future. It was very lighthearted. It was very fun. It was a lot of fan service. If you didn't notice Easter eggs, make sure that when you go through the Mushroom Kingdom, you look for Link's Ocarina. And there are little things like that throughout the game. And they even open up the idea of this bigger universe. There's one scene where Peach explains to Mario that there are many galaxies, many different galaxies. And there's that concept that maybe all of the Nintendo franchise could be out there at some point, which is really exciting because you get the idea of the Mario Brothers games. Super Mario World, Super Smash Brothers. Like there's lots of neat things. And I'll be honest with you, watching my 8-year-old sit in glee and excitement as he's watching, something that he has played hundreds of hours of come to life is extremely exciting for me, and something that I'm extremely glad for. And so by all means, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. Do not look at the critics reviews. I would say that this was made for kids, but there is a large amount of adult level humor. I wouldn't say like adult, like inappropriate or even like, crass and things like that. I would just say like it's good. It's going to hit on different levels, and they're definitely leaning to kids, but at the same time, the story and the humor to it definitely is there for the adults. What I loved was I didn't see a lot of kids in the showing that we were at, but I heard a lot of adults laughing and really enjoying the humor. And by all means, I think Jack Black stole the show. He did a great job as Bowser. And that stinking Peaches song is stuck in my head. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, absolutely. They definitely left it for more possibilities of stories down the road. In fact, if you when you go to see this film, please be aware there are two credit scenes. There's a mid credit scene and then a post credit scene, and so there's definitely a place to stay. If you need to, this is because of you know experience now. If you need to, after the mid credit scene, run to the restroom, you can make a quick dash to the bathroom and come back in time to see the post credit scene. So don't feel like you're rushing, because this is an animated film. There's lots of animator credits, and um, running a child into a restroom, you will have enough time to come back and see the end credit scene. Um, and so that is pretty much the crux of the news. I wanted to make sure that we didn't talk too much about stuff. Yeah, that poster. So let's talk about the poster for a second. It is definitely one of those kind of like the floating head posters, but it's probably my favorite. This feels like a video game cover in a sense. It definitely gives that essence. Um, I will also say that for Chris Pratt, um, they kind of make him not sounding like Mario work. Um, you think you're going to get it at the beginning, but you don't. And then on top of it, um, there's this essence of like that it makes sense that he doesn't talk that way. He's a younger generation in his family, whereas many of them do sound like Mario. Um, but definitely you can see that these are like the younger generation of the Italian family, and it would make sense that they have a little bit less of an accent, and then you kind of don't get thrown off by it, because once you understand that and you get into the film, it doesn't mess up too much. The only thing that I could say is with Seth Rogen, like even his laugh, it's the same as you always get. So that's the crux of nerd news this week. There were other things that popped up, but we're going to save some of that stuff for fandoms. So I want to go ahead and let's go ahead and take this down. Mellow. And so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about C2E2, the future of fandoms, and then if Michael's able to join in a little bit, we'll get his take on some of the Star Wars stuff, because I know he's excited about that as well. So we shared this with some of our Nerd Initiative team. C2E2 was first of all amazing. We had a great response for our Nerd Origin stories. We were able to really get a good feel of what we're going to do. You may see Nerd Initiative do more actual trivia panels and different special panels at conventions. That's our kind of our goal, what we're going to be leaning into. But on top of that, I just want to share with you a little bit of how much fun we had, just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that went on. So we were able, that's too far. We were able to do a Marvel trivia panel at C2E2. If you notice the gentleman that's at the end of the table, I just want to give a quick shout out to Freeman. He kind of helped make the panel as good as it was. We did understand one of the things that we were dealing with while at a trivia panel was we had no idea how to handle a large group of people. We weren't expecting a large group of people. But we ended up getting so many people that we basically filled the room almost. And it was a pretty large crowd, and we were able to have a lot of people come to us afterward and really kind of just say that they really enjoyed the panel, that it was their favorite panel at the convention, which we were really glad about. We had a lot of fun. There was, again, like I said, just there was some electricity. It was nice to notice that people were excited for other people to win. Whenever you go in there, you worry that there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be challenging or questioning. Now, mind you, I come from a background where I've worked with kids, and anytime you do a trivia or anything where there are prizes involved, people are going to call things out. We had one challenge, and we were able to kind of handle it, and then we talked about it to the people afterward and end up making friends with those people, and we'll definitely be having them on an episode of Fandoms at some point. And then, I mean, just look at these guys, but look at this crowd. I mean, like, so she won a Captain Marvel a gift bag, but I mean, look at the crowd. Like, we had an amazing response, and it was definitely, it was more than we expected. And mind you, that's probably the best way to explain it. We had, I want to say it was almost 400 people. I think they were doing a ticker. And honestly, it was humbling to see how everyone responded, and just kind of interacted, and honestly, as nerve-wracking as it should have been, it was actually rather comfortable. I really enjoyed myself. Then on top of the actual the panel, we had, of course, our team, just a couple candid pictures here, working the booth. And if you don't know what our whole end game or goal was here, was we wanted to be able to create content that was specific to our fans. And so, or even just fans of different fandoms. And so our goal was at our booth was not to sell anything. It was to really just interview and record experiences, asking people what their nerd origin story was. This isn't even all of them. We've got so many that are going to be coming onto our site. Either it's going to be posting on our short form on YouTube, or you'll even probably see stuff on Instagram and TikTok. We met a lot of different people. A huge shout out to all of our Nerd Initiative members that were there. Just JJ, Comic Stash, Cody Collects, Sean with Caption Life, Derek Paperweight Entertainment. You seeing that guy, also Blake Koala, Self and Wallet Keys, and just, it was just, Donovan Rose was there, and it just made for the event to be definitely enjoyable, as well as something that we will definitely be doing again in the future. I know this is preemptive because we don't even know if we're going to get it or not, but I know we're going to definitely try to at least apply for a panel at New York Comic Con. And so we'll definitely try to see what's going on from there. And hopefully we'll be doing that as well. So JJ's in the comments here. So also kind of give you a hint. I don't have pictures for this, but we also had a group of Nerd Initiative members at an Airbnb. And it was interesting. If you've ever, I remember being a kid being told, don't ever go and, um, don't ever go and meet people on the internet. Like, don't do that. And for kids, I still don't recommend it unless you've got like somebody with you, that is, kind of like being security, or, an advocate or a chaperone. But it was definitely experience, meeting everybody from Nerd Initiative, and kind of feeling the whole family atmosphere. But if you've not gone to a convention and you've not, been there, just remember, it's not always about the autographs. It's not always about the vendors. It's also about just kind of feeling comfortable with where you're at, being able to meet people that are like-minded like you, make new friends, and just kind of like geek out with people that love the same things that you love and enjoy the fandoms. Now, with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and, since I went through all of this news, and mind you, this is the weekend, this is the day before Easter, and whether you choose to celebrate the holiday or not, I imagine that um, there are things that you could do, spending time with your family or whatever else. Please remember to join us on um, this coming Friday evening. We are going to have Jade Rogers. She is the founder and the head of House of Afro Capes and Curls. She is the other person that was brought on to GMA3 along with me and my son, to be surprised with the red carpet for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And so we'll be there, but she is joining us on Friday night of next week to talk about what she's doing, talk about, why she started her organization, what it means, and then also to talk about her fandoms. And if you did notice, let me bring her picture up real quick. Jade always brings this Yoda with her everywhere she goes. This is actually kind of like one of her things. And I don't have a picture of it, but when we after the show is over, she put her little Yoda in that mixture I'm sorry, it's not a Yoda, it's Grogu. For some reason, I kept thinking it was Yoda. Okay, Baby Yoda. Everybody who hates like Star Wars and wants to attack me, go for it. But she brings that Grogu with her everywhere she goes, and so she took a picture of it at the prize table, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. We listened to her story in the green room, while we were waiting to get brought on stage, and just the excitement, like the steampunk, like the event that she did. And she's actually going to be at an event in Chicago on Friday next week. And so, I mean, she's active doing stuff, and she's a historian. So one of the things that I love about what she does is she kind of brings in like a history into it as well. And so not only is it something fun, but it's also something educational. And hopefully her organization will actually be able to grow and start chapters in other states, for people who need it. And absolutely, please be sure, again, that will be next week, Friday, the 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard. And we're looking forward to that. Now, with that said, I've never done this before, but this is the shortest episode that we've ever done. I don't feel like we need to draw it out any longer. I know what Michael's doing, and I'm all for it. He is busy doing stuff on behalf of Nerd Initiative, and so Michael, I know you're probably trying to jump on, but we're gonna go ahead and end it here, and we will see you guys next week on Fandoms, and be prepared, because the day after the red carpet for Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm going to be on this show, or I'm going to be on Nerd Initiative's Fandoms episode, trying not to let my face show my feelings of the movie. And so please understand if I'm quiet. I'm just trying to avoid spoiling anything on the next Fandoms episode. Not this one, but the next one after. But with that said, you guys have a wonderful night. We will talk to you all later, and we will see you next week.